This is my 99 Toyota 4Runner, and I got a diesel heater set up, and I got it at the max right now, the fuel tank and the fuel pump outside, and it works okay. However, the problem is with this 3-button controller, I'm not able to tune it. Some of these 3-button controllers you can tune, and there's a good video on how to access the advanced settings on this. But unfortunately, this one is locked out. I'm not able to get in there, so I can't really tune this thing. And that's kind of a problem for me because I'm at about 5,000 feet above sea level right now. And sometimes I camp up around like 8, 10, or even 12,000. And even if I was at sea level all the time, I'm still gonna want the ability to tune it. Say the pump isn't exactly perfect, to what it's supposed to be, or depending on kind of like your fuel setup, it's going to be really nice to dial in exactly what you need. And by the way, this is a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. I got the heat coming out right here. You can swivel that around. But if you're not able to tune your heater with the controller you have, don't worry. You don't have to buy a whole new one. You can buy a whole new computer module and controller with the wiring harness on Amazon for about 30 bucks. And this is a universal one, so it'll work for 2, 5, or 8 kilowatt diesel heaters. And I've already tested this out on the bench, and I am able to access the advanced menu. I'll go ahead and shut this down and let it cool off properly. All right, so I got it shut down. So now I can just cut power to it. There's a little carbon monoxide sensor that I have. And I'm thinking I'll be able to do this with it installed right here. I'll go ahead and remove my main power to the car battery connector. And then this part, which is the air intake, just unscrews, kind of lifts up and out. And I'll disconnect the main connector. And there's this little rubber grommet that slides in. And you can actually change the location to either side. This has a dummy grommet over here, and this is a little computer box right here next to the fan, 3mm hex. And we just got to remove this little screw, and then there's this little clip, and you have to kind of pull those tabs in at the same time, and this just pops up once you pull those in. Now I got the module out, this connector next to the soldered wires for the main harness goes to the glow plug, which is right there, and you just push that tab and it unclips. It's got 2 wires. It's a 4-pin connector though. And this one closest to the burn chamber is the fan. Pull that off. And then this one is the combustion chamber temp sensor. And you could probably easily get those mixed up because they're both a little 3-pin. And while we get the main control computer out, we're gonna want to look at how many magnets this has. There's one right there. Some of them have 2 and some of them have 1. This one actually has 2. And that's really important to know when you're going through the advanced settings. So, okay, so here's the original module, and you can see the new one is a bit different. I do like this new module because this little MOSFET transistor has a heat sink on it, because I've heard these sometimes burn up on the older modules. But you can tell the main harness is on the opposite side. Not a big deal at all. And you can see those solder joints are actually pretty nice. However, you can see the connectors are a bit different. On the original module, this is for the glow plug. This one is for the temp sensor, and this one is for the fan. And on the new module, this is the glow plug, this is the fan, and this is the temp sensor. And believe it or not, it should all just plug in. And I'll leave a little diagram I made on the screen. I got it all plugged in, and this one on the board only has 2 pins, but the connector still plugs in fine. But you just got to make sure the 2 pins are lined up with the 2 pins on the board, and it still clips in and everything. Then I got the glow plug over here, and I got the fan. And worst case scenario, if I power it up and the fan is blowing the opposite direction, I know I'll have to swap some pins around. But now I'll just organize all the wiring and make sure nothing is hitting the fan and clip it back in. All right, I got it clipped in, and the bolt on, just snug it up. It's just plastic, so you don't want it to be real tight or it could crack the plastic on there. And I got that wire harness boot slid in, and you're just going to want to make sure none of the wires are hitting the fan, that it moves smoothly. And now we can install, I guess I'll call it the hood. I don't know if it has a proper name or not. I just want to make sure it lays flat in the fan, make sure it doesn't hit anything. And then we can install the little intake cap. And I already checked the wires to make sure they're in the same pin locations, but it's the same design, same exact connector, just different color. And now for the controller. This one, the wiring is all behind here. The connector is behind here. So I'm actually just gonna cut this, and I'm actually just gonna repurpose this little bracket. But basically, down here, I'm gonna find the wire for that, and then I'm just gonna cut it and splice in a new harness for the connector on the old harness. Okay, I spliced in the controller harness for the length I needed, and the wires are a little different color, but red goes to red, blue goes to green, and black goes to white. I just kind of followed the pin position on the connector. I'm hoping that's correct. I mean, this could all be different depending on your diesel heater, so don't necessarily take my word for it. But here's where I mounted the controller. So go ahead and turn on the AC. The way I have this wired up is it goes to my battery, and then I have this Noco Genius 10 battery charger, and this will connect battery to the fuse box that I have, 12.7 volts, and it starts charging. The flashing lights you can only see on the camera. It'll be really nice having this here because the ambient temp sensor is in this control box, and it's going to be a lot better to run it down here instead of up there where it's really close to the heat output. But anyways, 13 volts. Then we can go into the advanced menu. Code is 168 on this controller, and I'm going to start the lower end hertz at 1.4. You can find a chart online. Upper hertz is 4.5. The charts are good for like a starting point, but it's good to kind of tune it yourself. And we're gonna do the 1500 for the lower end and 4500 for the higher end. I just want it to at least work until I can get it tuned. 12 volt, running 12 volt, you can do 24. And this is SN is the magnets, and I have two. You can choose one or two. I believe PF is the glow plug wattage. I'm just going to leave it on 5, powered on. Next, I'm going to make sure I can prime the pump. Looks good. Turn that off, and let's see if we can power it up. I like the visuals on this controller a lot better, but it looks like we got glow plug, and then the fan's running. We'll let it go through its process and see if it starts up. And I just heard it light up. It's kind of normal for it to smoke a little bit when it first starts up. You just don't want like tons and tons of smoke. But I also have to finish tuning this. So the heater's been running really good on the new controller. It is quite toasty in here. It's almost 80 degrees. But I've only been running it on high for about 14 minutes. I got it down to 4 hertz on the maximum for the tuning for now. It's blowing really hot. The one thing I don't like about this style controller is that I can't see the burn chamber temperature. On the controller I had before, I could flip through the settings. This is just the ambient temperature, and it would tell me the burn chamber temperature, but I have to kind of just rely on these bars. But after 2 red, I can't see how high the temperature is going. Because you can actually somewhat tune these things just based on temperature. And I don't think this universal controller has any ability to use like in high altitude mode. But I mean, you have the tuning. So you can make your own chart for the best tuning parameters depending on where you're camping at. But to be really accurate with tuning, you can use a carbon monoxide instrument on the exhaust. And I might make another video on that. There's also other people who have made videos. It is the middle of summer, so I probably won't be using this a whole lot. However, I want to test it out, make sure it's all good before fall and winter rolls around and I actually need to use this. And also, before winter, I'll probably take the heater out and kind of do like a little rebuild cleaning just to see how it's doing. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. I'll make a actual like tuning video at different altitudes later on. And also, I believe this is a 16 milliliter pump. The tuning is really going to depend on what pump size you have. I know you can use a 22 milliliter pump on the 2 kilowatt as long as you have tuning capabilities, because it's going to have the ability to put in a lot more fuel, and you got to turn the hertz rate way down. But I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.